Jerwin will still join us for the panel. And then we have on the panel also Mark. How are you, Mark?
Good day. How are you doing, guys?
Hey, Mark.
Hi.
Fantastic to have you here. And then we have in the panel also Fola. How are you, Fola?
I'm great, thanks. Hi, Mikhail, Jerwin, Mark.
Hello.
Hi, Fola.
All right.
Fantastic. So this is a virtual panel discussion, always a little bit more challenging than face-to-face, real live panel discussions, but I'm sure we will manage. It's such a fantastic team. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna ask questions, and you guys just can go ahead and comment. And if I don't hear anyone saying anything, then I'll just ask directly, like Mark, for example, what would you like to have that? And let's take it from there. Does it sound good?
Great.
Awesome.
Okay.
Fantastic. So we got about 20 minutes panel discussion, and I thought it would be good to have your overall feeling about the iGaming industry. How are we doing now? Are we back in the booming times after COVID? What do you guys say?
So I'll chime in there straight away. To be honest, I think the over the pandemic, I think the gaming industry has really sort of benefited from the pandemic. Where you say how the industry is doing, are we booming again? I think we were booming more and more over the pandemic. A lot of people spending a lot more time at home and going online, looking at sort of maybe alternative sports betting options, esports, but definitely sort of the online casino sector seen a dramatic increase over the sort of pandemic.
Fantastic. What about Jerwin? What do you think?
There's still certain challenges that we face in during COVID, but yeah, I think for the industry, it's better because a lot of players or customers are actually just at home playing, and we get to get more opportunities with that.
Yeah, yeah. What about Fallout? How do you see it? How do you see it?
Yeah, so I have a similar outtake to both Joe and Mark. We were in a sort of privileged position in gaming where we were in an industry that probably got accelerated during COVID, and obviously especially the casino side of things, and as Mark said, the esports, because I think esports was always a place people sort of predicted sort of high growth for and predicted sort of a great prospects, but I think COVID has definitely accelerated that. And definitely sort of brought that about a lot quicker. And with us at Frosmo, we did some really sort of interesting projects where we work with partners to cross-sell usual sports players. Obviously, there were no sports events and ways of sort of predicting what kind of casino game they could potentially like, and that went really well. So I think, yeah, as Mark said, I don't think we're booming again. I think we're always booming, and if anything, COVID has maybe sort of accelerated that.
Oh, that's the spirit. That's the nice attitude. We've been booming all the time. I love it.
Booming.
Booming. What about just a side question? Do you guys happen to be video gamers? Do you do esports yourself?
Yeah,
No.
of course.
A little.
A little.
What else is there to do?
Exactly. It's good to be a gamer these days.
Oh yeah.
So next question is more sort of a Frosmo related, and I think this is a topic that I've been talking about for the last decade with almost everyone, and it would be really great to hear your take on it. Do you think it's sort of a standard now that operators are offering truly personalized experiences to their players? What do you guys say?
I let me answer first. I think that the key word there is truly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think operators uh, offer some sort of personalized experiences, but not to the full extent that like what we want to for our customers to experience. It's a more of a baseline personalization, if you ask me. But
Yeah.
there's still a lot more that can be done.
What about
Yeah,
Mark?
I exactly what Jerwin said. Let's just say there's a lot of room for improvement out there. As Jerwin said, basic, personalization, but it can go a lot further, and it needs to. I mean, if these operators want to stand, out from the crowd against their peers, that they need to seriously look at this sort of personalization for their players. To keep them engaged, keep them interested. Otherwise, they're going to fall behind as sort of other adopters of this sort of approach. Ramp up further and further.
Yeah. Yeah. Fola, you talk
Yeah.
to a lot of operators. What about you?
Yeah, so as you said, Mikhail, I'm in a sort of privileged position where I do this on a daily basis. So I think I've got sort of good sort of overview and adoption in the industry in general. And I would say simple answer is probably no. In general, not offering that truly personalized experience. And I think that it's been a bit of a tentative sort of adoption, and most operators are offering things like sort of last played games and last viewed things games and quite sort of simplistic adoption of personalization, and even when they see the results of that, they're so huge. So it's a mystery why it's not it's not sort of adopted and prioritized as much as it should be. And if I was an operator, I would definitely sort of look at the landscape and see personalization as a sort of real opportunity, because most of my competitors aren't really sort of doing it properly. So if I can really sort of take ownership of that and do personalization properly, then it can really give me a sort of a good competitive edge.
Well, another side question. Do you think that other industries are ahead of iGaming in personalization?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, definitely.
Yes.
Actually, I can start with that on a sort of real time sort of case study. I've just recently moved house, and I've been sort of buying lots of things from one of the most famous retailers, and I think after sort of one search, it sort of figured out that I was moving, and it was so sophisticated how the sort of recommendations came in, and the sort of and the sort of email marketing after that, and then I just wish sort of but gaming was that sort of um, sophisticated in its personalization. And people like to make the comparisons to e-commerce, but I like to compare gaming to sort of much more similar industries. So sort of media and entertainment industries, where you are supposed to come on and enjoy the product and have fun. And then when the obvious example is obviously Netflix, but even more sort of closer comparison would be something like the gaming streaming sites like Stream, and those products are really sort of built all around personalization. Everything it's sort of an offshoot from personalization. That's a sort of real core of the product, and I think and that's a very similar sort of product to most casinos and sportsbooks. So I think gaming should definitely adopt that thinking and make personalization the sort of real core for growth.
What do you
Yeah.
think,
I mean,
Jerwin? Mark, do you agree?
yeah, I mean, especially here in Sweden, the probably the biggest industry that uses personalization is the retail sector. We have some very big retail names out here, and I experience, sort of shopping online through these retail stores, and as Fuller said, the amount of attention that's given back to me as a a purchaser is fantastic, and it does lead you on to buying more product. It's a very good marketing tool and loyalty tool to use for sure.
Yeah, adding to that one, personally, I've been um, um, I've been buying more because of personalization. That's when you know it works, if it works for you. But yes, more on the retail, more on the retail space, I think they utilize this more than more than the iGaming industry. Also for well, there's always social media. I think one of the king or the leaders in personalization is social media. They're
Yeah.
always out to the next content, keeping you engaged, and that's what we want to happen in our industry as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about TikTok. It's crazy how good the personalization algorithm is. It's
It's a rabbit.
amazing.
It's a rabbit hole.
Oh,
Oh, steady. That's how Dafabet should be, right?
Exactly.
And just before you move on, Mixer, I just wanted to add that obviously at Frosmo we do a lot of research and testing on this, and I think the key word in that sentence is truly, because when we test certain operators who tell us they do personalization, we will interact with the site in one way, and then we will interact from another account, interact with the site in a total opposite way, and we'll still see the same recommendations and
Yeah.
same games. So it's all about your everyone has algorithms and strategies, but it's all about how smart your data is that's powering them. So I think that the key word is definitely truly.
Yeah. No, really good thoughts and comments. Which leads us to the, I think, is it obvious after the previous comments? Does personalization uh, have the priority it deserves? What do you guys say? And why? Why? If no, why isn't it?
yeah, I would say definitely not. I mean, you look at an operator that there's so many priorities that
Yeah.
are put upon an operator. You know, everything from compliance, operational stuff, commercial stuff. I mean, it's one of those bricks that needs to be addressed for an operator. I mean, Jerwin will be able to sort of, paint a better picture than this with what they're doing. But it's everything's a priority these days, and it's all about resources, what's available, what money people can spend on systems, solutions, what's the ROI. And I think again with Fuller can sort of probably give a better indication what the ROI of personalization. It's important, but it's one of those, nice to
That gets put
have.
off. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Isn't so
Yeah.
important. Too much stuff to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
What do you
Yeah. I
think?
mean, sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I asked. What do you think?
Oh, for us, it should be given the priority, but as Mark said, there are a lot of things that operation wise are prioritized, and yeah, everything's a priority.
Yeah.
um, but I think this is one of the most important things that are always put off. Um, Also, when we start to to finally put a focus on this, and to do the testing on this, one of the key things is the implementation part, the timing. So there's this uh, when we get to test it, when we get to do it, and we finally want to implement it. Our idea back then is now outdated, so we
Yeah.
we we have to keep continuously doing it again and again. And I think just thinking about it, most of the people get tired about it. So that's why it gets put off. Just thinking about it, it gets put off.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
why
need
you
and
said
you,
time and speed is so important. You said it many times when we had
Exactly.
that together. Yeah.
Yeah, and you need buy-in from the top as well. So
Mm,
to be able to sort of filter that through the organization. So if you don't get sort of senior buy-in, like say, it's a lot harder sell to the organization to get this as a core priority and put on the sort of roadmap in regards to sort of resource allocation and things like that.
We'll
Yeah,
put this idea on the shelf again.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It did hurt a little bit my heart, Mark, when you said it's personalization is nice to have. We think it's must have. What do
Yeah,
Yeah,
you say?
it's
that,
yeah.
yeah, no, that was exactly the point I wanted to make. I don't feel it's given a priority it deserves. I feel the industry in general is bought into personalization. They see the benefits and they see that's the way not just gaming's going, the whole digital sort of B2C sort of environment. But it is still seen as a luxury sort of accessory. Sort of when we have excess space in our roadmaps, which is never, and when we have sort of budgets, we'll do it. But sort of my day-to-day conversations with operators, it's really trying to encourage them to push personalization up that sort of priority sort of level, so that because they will be surprised, as Mark said, to talk about the return of investment, just how quickly the return of investment can be from personalization, and also how much it affects every other sort of part of the sort of business. It will sort of boost acquisition, it will boost sort of your new product launches and your CRM, and it will sort of have a sort of overall sort of business compound effect. So it is something that should be definitely sort of more prioritized.
And I think you guys said many times that it's a lot of work, and I agree. Doing proper A/B tests, it's a lot of work. So that's why what Jerwin said as a last comment about what you guys are thinking next is to get rid of this sort of a content and testing treadmill, to get
Mhm.
more into the automation, use more machine learning and just automate things so that then you as humans have more time to creative thinking and strategic thinking and so forth. So do you guys think that could help it? That could help to lift up the priority?
Yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
yeah, I mean, business automation is sort of key now. Anything that can sort of reduce the workload on a team. Yeah, you're on a winner straight away. Um, yeah,
What about Jervin? What do you say?
Yeah, definitely. Um, with the time it takes to upload content manually, to check it, to test it, um, and do it on a daily or regular basis. It time is consumed so much doing those little tasks. But then I understand that the risks are so high if you get the contents wrong. That's
Mm,
why once you automate these things with the right parameters, it will free up the time that it needs, the time that you need to come up with a better strategy on how to improve your site rather than what to put on your site.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Really good. So okay, now we got it covered that uh, it doesn't have the priority it should deserve. So what do you think companies and operators are losing when they don't do it, when they don't have personalized service for their players? What do you think, Jervin?
Um, One, well, top of mind that in the industry that I think about is we're missing out on money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
just to
That's
put it
fine.
yeah,
straight out there, we're missing out on money. Um, instead of us earning more, profiting from the personalization, we get to miss out on these things because our focus is on different things. Our focus is more on doing administrative stuff, more on manual things. So yeah.
Yeah. Do you think if you don't have a personalized service, they will jump onto Netflix or HBO Max because those are personalized, right? Is that the
Yes, yes.
conclusion?
Now, um, one one thing that we should be careful about this one though is that we don't want to be the last ones to do it.
Yeah.
So Especially in iGaming, there are hundreds of brands and companies out there, but one thing that you don't want to do is to be the last one to jump on the ship, to be the last one to offer this concept. That's why what you want is to right now start
Yeah.
doing some personalization. I know that we mentioned that some operators offer even just a baseline personalization, but it's the first step. It's the first step to do.
Exactly. Let's get out there. Yeah. What about Mark? What do you say?
I mean, as Jerwin said, I think the commercial sort of the revenue part of it is a huge part of this. I mean, apathy in your player population as well. Not having an engaged player population where, like I say, the knock-on effect is the revenue coming into the company. From a sort of an operational point of view, it's resources. If you have a solution there that's sort of automating your business, you need less resources within your organization. So there's a knock-on effect to that as well. So there's a lot of positives of having a personalization product, both from sort of a commercial point of view, but also an operational point of view. So again, why these things aren't prioritized, is a question that organizations have to have. They have to ask themselves.
Yeah. So it's not just about making more money, but it's also about saving costs and having less stressed team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you've got sort of a team of people working on this part of the business. Let's say if you can automate this, and especially with machine learning and artificial intelligence, sky's the limit.
Yeah. Fola, do you have anything else to add to this?
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of just maybe develop a little bit on what Jerwin said around that losing that competitive advantage. I think that's a really key one for me. It's it's not just about sort of adopting personalization, it's but about not being the last and sort of how well you do it as well. And when you look at sort of a usual sort of players ecosystem, they'll have a digital ecosystem and they'll have a entertainment product, Netflix for example, retail product, let's say Amazon, and they'll have all different types of products. And if those products are given them that truly personalized user experience, and they become quite accustomed to it, and that sort of drops in their sort of gaming ecosystem, their sportsbook or casino, that they will notice, and if a competitor provides that for them, they will migrate to that competitor. So after losing that competitive advantage in such a competitive industry, there's sort of startups popping up daily in every market. I think that is a real sort of key sort of benefit for adopting personalization.
Yeah, because after all, in iGaming, the games are actually fairly similar. So I think it's really about the service around the games that makes you stand out.
Yeah, exactly. So as you said, there's only sort of so many casino providers, and the games are sort of replicated on most operators, and there's only so many sports that you can bet on. So the product itself is quite similar across the field. So just coming up with ways to sort of differentiate yourself and make yourself stand out. And I think sort of personalization is the most sustainable way of doing that, really.
Really nice. Thank you guys for those thoughts. Really good. We already spoke about the challenges the companies face, about the priorities, and having too many things to do for too small amount of team members. What do you think? Are there still some other barriers left when it comes to not adopting personalization? Maybe technical, maybe principles. I don't know. What do you guys say?
One thing that I think is the biggest barrier is it's a human habit. You
Yeah.
know, some people get used to doing things on a certain way, but once you introduce a new idea, um, it becomes difficult for them to sort of adopt quickly. That's why with Frosmo we have multivariate tests. We have data to prove, data-based personalization. So we can sort of remove the subjective part of of everyone, and focus on the results.
That's really good. That's really good. Yeah, as a leader, it's the change is so difficult to lead. You're right, totally right about that. What about Mark? What do you think?
Yeah, I think again, I think it's the lack of understanding within an organization of what can be possible, and sort of understanding what solutions are out there to be able to sort of help, this sort of approach. I mean, we've covered most of the other things in this chat, so yeah, I think sort of lack of understanding of what personalization means and what they can actually do and what it can achieve.
Yeah, yeah, really good. Fola, anything else to add?
Yeah, I think I could definitely add quite a lot to this because this is my job. I come across these barriers quite a lot, and I think the biggest one is actually not actually a barrier; it's more of a perceived barrier. I think once people see personalization as such a big technical thing, and especially when they see our product, they feel integration will be so tough, and it will take months, and we've sort of worked really hard to make integration as sort of seamless and stress-free for the operator as possible, and we'll do sort of most of the heavy lifting. And I think once they actually sort of speak to our tech guys and see what integration actually looks like for Frosmo, they're usually pleasantly surprised, and they felt it. I think we brought it down to under 2 weeks, and sometimes we can do it a lot quicker if you have sort of certain game feeds and data layers in place. So I think that is the biggest one, and also another sort of slight sort of barrier is for the startups, because startups are all in acquisition sort of mode. They feel personalization is something that they can look at further down the line. But they're usually quite surprised that we can add so much value to acquisition as well. So even they're surprised that how can you do personalization even before we've acquired a player, and I usually talk them through that. And I'll give you an example. So that if you look at sort of the usual sort of customer lifetime value, it's split into three phases: acquisition, engagement, and retention. And then people sort of usually pigeonhole Frosmo or personalization in general as sort of an engagement stroke retention product, but we can offer so much value on the acquisition side as well. And an example I like to use is we have a partner who had a big sort of affiliate campaign. It was a big hero banner on an affiliate website, and it was a Viking themed slot game. And through Frosmo, when a potential player clicked on that banner and enter the operator site, automatically their product was built around that game. There would be a similar Viking themed hero banner. There would be other war themed slot games and Vikings themed games. So instantly that product was built around that person's affinity in some ways, because we already sort of guessing that based on them clicking on that banner, and that had a huge uplift in sort of conversion from discovery to registration, because the person entered this product, saw the game they liked and loads of other games that were similar, and they instantly felt this was a perfect product for them. So that's just one example of how we can really sort of help push the acquisition phase, and how startups should really look into adopting personalization from day one, really.
Really nice. That was good insights and good examples. I would love to have just your final last thoughts, Jerwin and Mark, to Fola's comments, and then we're unfortunately running out of time. But please, if you guys want to comment on Fola's thoughts, that'd be really nice.
Yeah, I concur.
Okay.
You can't. What can you add to that? Yeah, every single point. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, what Fola said, even in for a new customer, you can make your website more immersive. So
Mm,
based on the preferences that about that new user coming in. So yeah,
yeah, fantastic. Hey, it was a really lovely conversation. I think I was stoked how smart comments and thoughts you guys have. Really fantastic guests. Thank you, Jervin. Thank you, Mark.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Fola. I enjoyed it tremendously. I hope you had fun too.
Me too. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Cheers, guys.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was the panel discussion.